Now, it's time for Startup Britain. That's On The Money's regular slot featuring some of the UK's most successful and interesting startups. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Ian Huntington. He's Managing Director at Spartan Survival, an award-winning British startup, providing authentic bushcraft and survival training courses from Cheshire to Scotland. Spartan Survival was set up with the aim to host live, on-the-ground adventure experience for families, schools and even companies, with a number of business leaders encouraged to ditch their phones and other gizmos and embrace life in the great outdoors. With a background in the British Army, serving as elite military personnel and years of experience working in security, Ian has adapted his survival skills to design courses located in some of the most hostile and austere environments in Britain. And Spartan also offers courses for soldiers suffering from PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder, given the mental health benefits of life outdoors. So here he is, not up a mountain for once, but live in the On The Money studio, Ian Huntington, my latest guest on Startup Britain. Ian, great to have you in the studio. I've been looking forward to meeting you. So if I was to come on one of your extreme Spartan survival courses, what could I expect? Where would I clean my teeth?
We've got various courses. We start with a level 1 bushcraft course, which is a 2-day, 1-night, fairly sedentary learning skills. Tier 2, we go on to something a little bit harder. And then we go to the survival in the Scottish Highland.
Wow.
And nobody knows where it is.
Wow.
So you sign up for the course, you meet at an RV rendezvous point, and then I take you to the island, you signed an NDA, I take your phone.
A non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, non-disclosure.
Sign away all your legal rights. I can't sue you for maltreatment.
I take your phone off you, and I take your watch off you.
And how long can those courses last?
They're for 7 days. I teach you.
Well, if I can escape the On The Money studio, I really want to do one of those courses. It sounds unbelievable.
You can come with me for 7 days, no problem.
And what do you eat?
Whatever you forage and whatever you catch. So you're given a small fishing kit. I give you a lot of survival equipment, a lot of skills over the first 2 days.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 days, you're left on your own with a tracker, with an SOS button on it. So if you get a bit nervous, give it a press, and one of the instructors will be there within a short period of time to assess the situation. And
what time of year are we talking about? The height of summer, I hope?
All year. You can't just pick when you can survive. It's all year.
Now, you've obviously had a pretty serious and distinguished background in the British military. I'm not allowed to ask you about that, and I won't. But tell me about your thought processes as you moved into the private sector, when you thought about what you wanted to do. A lot of people who come out of the military, do a wide range of courses. A lot of my friends, they've gone on to work in the city or set up their own companies, doing something completely different. But you've really sort of directly adapted, obviously, the world-class basic skills survival training that you got with Her Majesty's Armed Forces.
Well, I left the forces in 2000, so for 20 years I've been on the private sector as a private military contractor and bodyguard, working in sort of every war zone, conflict area, hostile environment for the last 20 years. So I've had to adapt those skills to various environments that can be cold, it can be hot, it can be... sometimes you get lots of accessibility to various things. Sometimes you don't. So sometimes you're washing your face in sand, sometimes you're in a 5-star hotel. So it varies, but we adapted those. A friend came to me and said, I want to do a survival course. My son wants to do a survival course. Yeah. So we took the family away. We did a bushcraft course in a British wood, and they enjoyed it. We then developed the company from there, which was May 2021. So it was just like everybody was coming out of lockdown. Nobody spent any great quality time together. Teenagers were in the bedroom playing PlayStation. So we needed to sort of put families together in an outdoor environment, something that was a little bit alien to everybody. So they all pulled together and sort of got quality time together. That evolved into corporations coming to us, and we put team building courses together for corporations, and that's going very, very well at the moment. We've got the survival side, which we run, which we can take people. We've had people from factory workers to CEOs of techie companies. We've got a clothing line coming on in September for hillswear, technical hillswear. So it's going from strength to strength to strength.
So you could, in theory, Ian, you could place a family, mum, dad and a couple of bolshy kids on a remote Scottish island, pretty much with nothing except a fishing line and a few bits of flint to start a fire, right?
Well, we could.
You want to talk to some reality TV companies? There's a format there. My God, imagine.
Yeah, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you?
But in theory, you could do that.
We could do that, but we start them in a Chester Wood start.
Yeah.
So we start them in the northwest, in Cholmondeley Castle. We've got 200 acres of woodland there. So we start them there, and then we progress.
Do you personally like all this stuff? Do you like building bivouacs? Do you like starting fires with, rubbing two Boy Scouts together, or whatever, in the old-fashioned phrase? Do you enjoy that kind of really elemental... I mean, it's one thing to put a nice boots and stuff on and with a compass, walk the Pennine Way or something. That's outdoors. But this goes beyond the outdoors, doesn't it? This is kind of a psychological battle as well as a battle against the elements.
Yes, it does. It sort of restarts your whole system, because we don't have any phones on our courses. Because what we don't want is people stood there doing this and not paying attention. And we teach them skills that have been lost. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to go into the woods and, when it was time to go home because the street lights started coming on. Yeah. Nowadays, it's a case of everybody's into the technology, and it's very much a techie world. And we get away from that, and it teaches sort of kids and parents good life skills.
We're about to go into, we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis. It could yet get a lot worse. When you and I were kids, of course, inflation was high, and there were issues about, access to basic food and clothing, without wishing to be alarmist. Are we softer now? Have we softened in the last 30, 40 years?
Massively softened.
And what are the dangers of that?
The dangers are we just forget where things come from. We just forget that, I've had kids come on the course and they sort of go, well, where's the showers? Where's the running water? Yeah.
Where do I plug in my phone as you whip their phone off
my
them?
Bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we're massively softer than we used to be.
And what are the dangers of that, briefly, for society if people are soft?
Well, when everything's going great, nothing. It's great. But if things turn... you've only got to look at Ukraine and what's happening there. You've got to be able to use life skills you've learned in various different... you can't be soft in areas like that. And, it's just skills that have been forgotten. Foraging, fire starting, the sort of priority.
Keeping your head when things are going badly. Resilience, right?
Priorities of survival, we teach is one of the first things which people don't seem to... They just think it's, I need to get water. Well, it's not. It's sort of shelter to start with.
Well, it's a fascinating business, Spartan Survival. Ian Huntington, it's great to meet you. I do want to come on one of your courses.
You definitely will.
As and when I escape the studio.
Thank you,
Ian,
cheers.
great to talk to you.